Greetings from Sweden, and welcome to Everyday Mystic, an aid to your liberation. My name is David, and today I'm going to talk about something that is not just an idea or a philosophy. Because it's so easy for us to just make thought structures out of everything without really have any personal experience of them. And that is not what I'm talking about here today. And what I'm talking about is actually really old. And it's very crucial as we go through our spiritual awakening. It's something that I believe all of the great masters throughout history have been talking about in one way or another. From what I know, I think the Buddha was the one that expressed it most clearly when he said that the root of all suffering is desire. And in this is contained that the root of all suffering is attachment and aversion. We either are attached to something that we want to cling on to it, don't want it to go away, and thus we fear the future. Or we are attached to something that we not yet have, and thus we also resist the present moment. Or we feel aversion to something, we desire for it to not be there. So either we desire for something to be there, or we desire for something not to be there. There is also an inner and an outer aspect to this. Because in some sense, the outer always reflects the inner. As above, so below. As within, so without. And let me explain this a little bit. You see, when we go through our days and have our present experiences, we, on the one hand, experience situations that we wish to change, but we also feel how they, in a very direct sense, correspond with things that happen inside of ourselves. We feel an inner resistance on an energetic level, on a physical level. We, for example, have an unwanted experience, an experience that we label as unwanted, and then we can feel how we tense up. We can feel how it creates an emotional energy inside the body, and we can feel ourselves resist this energy. It always happens on an unconscious level. But the more we realize this, the more we become aware of it, the easier it is also to let go. To feel into whatever we are resisting, instead of just unconsciously pushing it down. And as we do this, we also more and more learn to release the things that we have blocked inside of ourselves. We'll learn to more and more release the energies that are there, that are wreaking havoc inside of ourselves, and that are attracting more situations to us that we find unwanted. Now, this openness to our experience, as far as I have learned, starts up here inside the third eye, and then it spreads into the rest of the body. But really what we want to do is to always stay as open as we can do. And when we hit one of these blockages, our attention is also drawn to it unconsciously, where we do what we can to block it. And what we need to do is to bring our attention back into the present moment When we do this correctly, we feel how it opens up inside of the head. We feel a lightness inside of our body. When these emotions are released, we can feel all these pleasurable sensations as the energy starts to flow more freely. So, a very good way to start approaching this is to start asking ourselves, where am I resisting right now? And when you ask this and really feel this, you will feel how there are different points inside of your body where you are resisting. And these points, as I said, also corresponds to the experience that you draw into your life. I don't know exactly how this works. I just know that this is how it does work. And as I said, these teachings are very old. You can find them, for example, very clearly delineated in the teachings of samskaras in Hinduism. And this is very important also, that this is a choice in every moment. You have so many, literally hundreds of thousands of these little blockages inside of yourself. And literally in every moment one of these blockages is either triggered and you resist it, or you choose to take a step back and let it go. And when you take a step back and let it go, you will feel this lightness. You will feel how it opens up inside of your head. You will feel in general how you open up inside. And the more you do this, the more you will also get into contact with the energy field inside of yourself, which is also connected to the infinite consciousness around you. Again, this is not some idea or philosophy. This is something that you can have a very direct experience of. And when you do this, you will also notice that there is no separation between you and the rest of the world. This is just an illusion. You are not just your little body, you're not just your little ego, and you're not just your brain. You are part of an infinite consciousness that expresses itself individually through you. And this is also not something to be feared. You will never have to give up your sense of individuality. But all you have to give up is this sense of being an isolated little ego, which is just an illusion anyway. And for me, this has been a very long process. And I'm still working on it. I'm in no way done with it. And I've actually pushed down a lot more, resisted a lot more than most people have done in their life. But that also means that I've had a lot of opportunities to practice letting go, to analyze what is actually happening in this process. And yes, as I said, it's very simple. It's just about saying yes to the present moment and not resisting it. But since this is a choice that we make in every single moment, it is also something that we have to train ourselves in. This is actually easier than being in this constant resistance. But since no one told us that we had this option, we have practiced to do these things over and over again in the wrong way. But just notice when you are resisting in the moment and make the choice of letting go. Make the choice of accepting your external experience and make the choice to accept whatever is triggered inside of yourself. Bring your focus back into the present moment and feel into it. This should be easy. This should feel open. This should feel light. This should feel good, as opposed to this inner resistance where you always go around with a slight annoyance about everything, with a slight sense of discomfort, with a slight sense of displeasure. When you notice this more and more, you will also notice that this has been your habitual state for a very long time. And this is what it's all about, a habit, cultivating a new habit. And I talk a lot about habits because in essence we are so bound to our lower habits. But as we start to challenge the discomfort of these habits and cultivating new ones both on the inside and the outside, we start to let go more and more, both on the inside and on the outside, and we start to notice that life flows more effortlessly, that we can set more conscious intentions instead of just allowing our reactions to our experiences to push us into what is already familiar and to push us more and more into the same unwanted circumstances. So, this is about rewiring the brain. It's about what is called neuroplasticity if we look at it from a purely material standpoint. We need to train our brains to form new neural pathways, and this is what modern neurology is showing us. That when we practice new ways of operating, whether it is how we treat our experiences on the inside or whether it is how we are acting out into the world, we are slowly training our brain to work in a different manner. So therefore, the more you practice, the easier this will get. And that's it for today. If you like this video, please leave a like, leave a comment and share the video on social media and other places. All of it helps the channel to grow. And if you haven't done it already, subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so YouTube always notifies you of new videos, which I right now put up every Thursday and Sunday, but there will be more videos in the future. And check out the description and the comment section for other things that me and my wife are doing. And other than that, just sincerely thank you for your time.